Morning, friends, and happy Saturday. Today we're starting off the new year with our first car show of 2024. I'm headed to a show called the Kyusha Club. It's dedicated exclusively to old school Japanese rides. So I thought the 95 Legend would be a fitting contender for that show. We'll get it out bright and early on this crisp Saturday morning for a few miles. I'm excited to see who comes out today. It's a smaller show. There's no registration fee or sort of questionnaire to fill out. So we'll just have a good time, probably run into a few friends there and see what kind of cars we run into. Just getting set up here at the Kyusha Club meetup. Ran into a friend of mine here with this 77 Toyota pickup and a couple other faces and cars that some of you may recognize here. This is my buddy from social media. This is Crackzilla right here. This is kind of a rare CRX that some of you in the audience might recognize. This is a 91 SI special edition. So this is actually a Canadian specific model. There are a few things like the body colored side moldings that set it apart. A friend of mine over there picked it up in Vancouver, drove it back, had it painted, and it's a miraculously well kept car, especially for being Canada owned. And you can see here the special badging here for the CRX special edition. And he said it's got about 280 something thousand kilometers on it. So these cars are super collectible though. He said this is one of only a couple hundred cars that were made in its exact configuration. Here's the indoor portion of the venue. It kind of has a Radwood San Pedro vibe to it. If you remember last year's LA Radwood, toward the end of the year, we were at the port and there was an indoor sort of warehousey kind of venue like this. And this is an old auto shop here in Central Phoenix that has been repurposed for this occasion. We'll check out what's on the other side here. A couple good NSXs. This is my friend Brandon over here. He also has a Honda Beat. So this is Phoenix Central Avenue here to the left, and this was an old auto shop. I don't know the exact history of the shape of the building here or when it stopped being an auto shop formally, but now it's more of just an event venue. They do gift markets and produce markets, things like that. But still some cars rolling in, so technically this event just started now at 8:30. Gonna get a closer look at some of these cars. Pretty awesome lifted Civic 5-door wagon here. Another very clean Lexus. Of course, I have to look at the interior because this is a manual station wagon. If I remember correctly, that was not a factory thing. So I wonder if this has been swapped. If it has, it's very nicely done. For those of you who are second gen Integra fans, I just met a super cool guy named Ramon with this 92. Now this car is more than meets the eye. There's his Instagram if you want to follow him, by the way. But this was a automatic car that was swapped, and he's even got the GSR cluster in there. And the best part is under the hood, this is a V16A power plant that he's put in here, and it's super clean. Since I'm in the neighborhood, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite oddball little remaining structures. By the way, I love that Land Cruiser generation. There's a building here that dates back to probably 100 years ago. It's called the Coronado Hotel, and you can see they still advertise color TV there. I tried looking into this just recently. It's been converted mostly into apartments and things, and probably not the best sort of venue to stay at, but I've always been kind of fascinated by these older vintage structures that somehow withstand the test of time and remain even while being surrounded by so many new builds. Just for kicks, we'll see what's going on inside here. It's like a mailbox sort of thing here. Just got a quick conversation with the guy in the office there, and it is still a functioning office. He says the building was built in 2 phases in 1920s and 1950s, and it is still available for an overnight stay, although I guess at your own risk is a good way to put that. Here goes one of our self-driving vehicles. There's nobody in the driver's seat of that Jaguar I-Pace. Another Lexus for the mix, or this one is rather a Toyota Aristo right-hand drive. I just talked to the owner earlier today. If you remember, those of you who are old as I am, the late 1990s, the 98 Lexus GS 300 and 400 became known as Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. And even now, I think the design, like so many of those cars from that era, have held their own. Getting ready to roll out here from Central Phoenix, and the rest of this video is going to consist of some of the updates over the last few months on this car. I haven't really posted much about it. I've been occupied with other projects, but a few things have happened that are subtle updates, and this car, I think I can honestly say, is never finished. I strive for complete perfection, and it has a ways to go, but it's definitely better than what we started with. Legend Surgery 101 with the scalpel, and we have some OEM, believe it or not, you can get these, there's the part number for you. You can get these new chrome e-brake things. So this one right now is just painted over with some touch-up paint, but we can do better than that, so let's give it a whirl. This is about where it's gonna stay. So the new one is a little bit out further because we're not going to try and torque it too hard at the risk of either marring the finish of this or having it break off like the other previous one did. See if I can get this in focus here. So that's basically what we're working with. New e-brake knob on the 95 LS. Treatment to the rubber seals on all the windows because I don't think they've ever been hit. Today's a very exciting day. My buddy Morel found, or years ago, found this hood insulation liner. These are discontinued parts from forever ago. It's one of the few things I'm missing on this 95 LS Legend. So ordered some clips. They're just universal clips that match the Honda part number. Gonna install the liner now, and we'll see how it looks. Check that out, looks awesome. Huge mega thanks to Morel for donating this to the project. I'm super happy for that very nice finishing touch. Here's the 95 Legend LS returning to Bell Acura, or what was formerly the location for Bell Acura, here at 1234 West Bell Road in Phoenix, where this car was sold new back in 1995. Just dropping the 95 LS for a few maintenance items. Here's the list we started out with. This is going to be kind of a little bit of continuation of prior work that was done and addressing some primarily suspension related stuff right now. I do have a code 12 check engine light for the EGR system, which is very common. Going to try and reconcile that. And then also the car kind of has a funky stance in the back where the rear wheel is cambered in to a large extent on both sides. So we're going to try and work on that a little bit. And other than that, just kind of an overview. It's been driven probably about 1,500 miles now since the full mechanical restoration within the last year or two. So here's all the parts. I have a box full of stuff here. The upper radiator hose has collapsed a little bit, so we're gonna put a new one of those. This is an EGR related part. This one here is the actual EGR valve. I have a wiring harness here to get the fog lights working, so that was the one piece I was missing with that kit. Some other miscellaneous gaskets. This is a camber kit in case they need it. Some ball joints here. Kind of over planning here, but it's easier, I think, to have the parts ready versus, you know, letting the car sit here outside for a week or two while things come in. I'd rather they just be able to get right to work on it, assuming I ordered the right stuff. So we'll find out. Time to get the 95 LS back after that suspension work. Things are sitting a little bit better here in the rear. Car is a little bit dusty, but that's okay. And that's completed the next phase of restoration on it. Can't believe it, I have functioning fog lights. Thanks to my friend Alan for creating a harness for me. That's the last piece I needed to get this thing fully activated.